Hello friends, Nullker here. I'm Egor, the director and scriptwriter of this YouTube channel, and today we need to have a serious talk with you. As 2023 comes to an end, we can all agree it's been a challenging year, but we've prepared this content for you, where we'll review the highlights of the year, share the most thrilling and amusing news from the world's environmental agenda, and simultaneously actively affirm that the next year will be better than the previous one. Let's get started. When I was researching the news for this episode, focusing on the most popular environmental events of this year, I came across a tremendous amount of news that I think you've probably heard about. Yet still, I cannot but talk about them.
In Berlin, eco-activists vandalized the Brandenburg Gate with paint. In London, eco-activists splashed soup on Van Gogh's masterpiece. In Lisbon, eco-activists splashed paint on Picasso's painting. In my head, questions arise.
Yeah, 2023 brought us a lot of interesting developments. Let's not forget about some representatives of eco-activism who definitely brought a creative approach to their actions and did not engage in blatant and literal vandalism. Thanks to them, things aren't as bad as they may seem. For example, the folks from the Extinction Rebellion movement dyed the waters of Venice Grand Canal and 6 other fountains in the Vienna bright green. The reason? A protest against the lack of progress in the UN COP28 climate conference and against the greenwashing on the gas industry. But wait, don't make a hasty judgment. They used harmless fluorescent paint and after a few hours the waters returned to their original state without causing any harm. A bold action, definitely. Did it harm anyone? Not at all. Which cannot be said about the folks from the Just Stop Oil movement who are taking a slightly different path.
Is it worth more than food? Worth more than justice? Are you more concerned about the protection of a painting?
I think it's... especially considering their future plans, which include cutting up famous works of art as a protest against the development of new oil and gas fields. Okay, finding their actions hard to understand. I'd still prefer to stay on the positive side and say Happy New Year, Just Stop Oil team, and wish them to draw inspiration from performance art masters such as Marina Abramović, for example. She effectively communicates her ideas to the public without causing any harm to cultural heritage. On the contrary, she becomes an integral part of it. We need to do this as soon as possible. I agree. The planet's temperature exceeds all acceptable limits. It means the global community will have to assess the interim results of the fight against global warming and decide who and how will finance the green transition in developing countries. Despite all attempts to solve this issue, experts say that keeping the planet's temperature at the desired level is simply not possible. From the beginning of December 2023, COP28, the conference of the parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, is taking place. It's the same conference that doesn't inspire much confidence in activists from Extinction Rebellion. One of the main questions, how to stop global warming and transition to a green future. At first glance, it's simple. In 1997, the Kyoto Protocol was adopted, a plan to reduce CO2 emissions. However, as it turned out, achieving this was not easy. By 2012, they promised to reduce emissions by 5%, but failed. Then in 2015, a new agreement was signed in Paris with more realistic goals, adapting to climate change and assessing the damage from global warming. According to global carbon forecasts, this year promises to set records for industrial CO2 levels. Tropical forests, which are the main absorbers of greenhouse gases, continue to be cut down. But there's a good news. Climate financing is increasing, reaching $85 billion per year. But of course the issue is not only about finances. The planet's temperature is relentlessly rising. This year has become the hottest in recorded history. The concept of climate refugees is gaining ground worldwide. Yeah, they exist. These are people whose lands will be engulfed by the world ocean. Countries like Tuvalu and Vanuatu are particularly at risk. The only way to save them is relocation, but one can be done. Carbon capture and storage technologies are far from perfect. The discussion about abandoning fossil fuels has been ongoing for a long time, but there have been a few changes so far. The main problem is the intensification of the greenhouse effect, and here's the question. Will COP28 be able to propose specific steps to solve this problem? Let's keep an eye on news. Meanwhile, let's find out what Elon Musk thinks about this.
We are all taking billions, eventually trillions of tons of carbon, and transferring it to the atmosphere and oceans. If you do that for long enough, eventually, you will get climate change. I think it is exaggerated in the short term. It is not going to destroy humanity, but it will create hardship if you change the climate over many decades.
Musk stated that he doesn't believe we will be able to do without oil and fossil fuels. It is necessary in the short and medium term. It will decades to achieve sustainability. Don't worry too much, we will gradually transition to sustainable energy in the future, he added. Yeah, it's been a challenging year in every sense. And of course, we couldn't cover all the important environmental events in just one video. You can find links in the description to our LinkedIn and Instagram, where we regularly post some news content about very important aspect of our lives, ecology. But I won't leave you without some good online news, okay? Ready? At the beginning of 2023, in Mexico, during a city council meeting, a raccoon fell onto the heads of the deputies. Let's see how it happened. The Argentinian province of Chubut, visited by thousands of tourists every year, plans to switch all protected areas and reserves to solar energy. Chubut is the only place in Argentina where you can get up close to see whales, observe orcas hunting sea lions, and even watch the lives of real penguins. Therefore, the question of using clean energy is quite acute.
We have now started implementing the plan. Changes are coming. Solar panels used to be only for housing, and now we apply them to infrastructure.
Said Sergio Cassin, the Deputy Minister of Natural Resources of the province. If truth be told, a lot of positive things are happening in the world, even the field of ecology. It's just that news portals, for understandable reasons, mostly convey to us very serious and problematic events. So let's take some instance, sit down and start our affirmations. And to assist us in this, we turn to the organizers of the annual Comedy Pet Awards. See you in the new year, dear friends. Don't forget how important your interest in planetary issues is, so keep it up. Also, please, let us know how you envision the next year. Share in the comments and let's see which predictions come true. Register on our website and support important eco initiatives worldwide. They're striving to make our lives better. Join! This was Egor from the Nullker team. Happy New Year!